On the program today, we're joined by Professor Irfan Habib, well-known historian and commentator. Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, a veteran journalist, is with us. PKD Nambiar, who's from the state that Mustafa comes from, Kerala, is a public affairs commentator, is with us. We're also joined by Shubhrashta. She's a commentator with her own successful YouTube channel. Welcome. And we're joined by brand manager, image guru, Dilip Cherian. Welcome everybody, and let me start. Maybe used fresh foods idli dosa batter at some point when you haven't had time to have freshly ground batter. Are you pained at what's happened with Mustafa, and why do you think it's happened?
Even though I am based out of Delhi, but the only thing is that any entrepreneur who is attacked while doing a good job needs to be definitely. I get pained because an entrepreneur is a person who work much more harder, and he's the one who feeds a large number of people. So he needs to be celebrated. Every entrepreneur needs to be celebrated. Unfortunately, we as a country have very less respect for the entrepreneurs, or the kind of respect what we give it to them is very less as compared to many other people. Maybe to a politician or to a journalist, we give them much more respect than an entrepreneur. We always look at him more of like a capitalistic outlook. So from that particular point of view, I do feel that anybody whomsoever is attacking Mustafa or for his company, if without having any base, is not accepted. Then the second part of it is that I have a problem. Why do you call an entrepreneur a Muslim entrepreneur or a Hindu entrepreneur? Then you call me as he's a Hindu. PKD Nambiar, a Hindu entrepreneur. I was also a startup 20 years back. I was one of the youngest startup guy of that time. I started my business at the age of 23 and have been able to be a very decently successful business way back. Now, my question is that you don't call me as a Hindu entrepreneur. You don't call
no, but suppose you were targeted. Suppose you were targeted for your faith, or it
not really.
And your religion would become relevant.
You are
it may not be relevant. It may not be relevant in a day-to-day setting.
I must tell you, Barkha, I'll tell you. For me, you are one of the most successful and one of the most respected journalists in this country. We all know that how a corporate rivalry happens. Why do we need to be a judgmental? It could be a corporate rivalry. It could be even sometimes companies, the big multinational companies, create their own stories for their own popularity. In other words, a good entrepreneur take it as a part of a good branding exercise for him. And I'm sure that the great image guru is also there on this panel. So I don't want us to create that a section of very minute section of the people who create such kind of a story, which is truly called as a fake news, which is the biggest viral pandemic which is happening because I'll just complete my statement, then you can go on. I'm only saying that it is more of like a viral infection which is there on the internet. This technology has got this particular problem. Anybody can go and attack anyone. I sometimes see the way you have been attacked. So you are not a large enterprise. You may not have a product wherein people can come and say that you have a beef essence in your channel or in your product. So that's all. So the idea is that I think this should be treated purely.
I'm laughing because of वही बचा है for attack. बाकी सब तो बोल दिया.
So I am seriously telling you, please see. I think Mustafa as an entrepreneur, I always say the entrepreneurs who have got, they're always a different gene. They have got an extra bond. He don't require Barkha to support. He don't require anybody else. He will be able to manage it. Rather, I want to tell you one more thing. He will take this as an opportunity for his business rather than let the detractors do attack. He will treat it as an opportunity for him.
Very quick point. Okay, PKD, very briefly, I want to go to Irfan after that. Yeah,
absolutely. I understand, and I just wanted to put one point across. See, I'll tell you, this is not an isolated. Let me tell you, there are a large number of incidents like this. This is not just a Muslim or a Hindu or even to multinational companies like a Nestle or a Coke or a Pepsi. All these kind of companies have, even in fact, some of the companies I work my clients also gone through this kind of a crisis. So this is not, sometimes some companies use it as a crisis, some kind of opportunity.
Yes,
now let me tell you one
Okay, hang
last.
hang on. You said brief point. I want the others to speak.
And then I just wanted to give you one, but the predominantly in south of India, and especially in Kerala, the Muslims are the main businessmen. I mean, if you really look at 50% would be the Muslims. They are the popular, most of the popular businesses. What you see, they may even have a Hindu name. I mean, the businesses would have a Hindu name. They are all thriving in a very big way. Second is the 25% of the business would be coming from Christian community, which you see across the country, based out of Kerala. I think the society like in south of India have never differentiated people because of their they've always celebrated their enterprising.
Somebody still has to tell me why this is happening now.
So I just wanted to tell you, in before 2014, there was a huge campaign and a narrative which is called, the current prime minister was called as a Mautka Saudagar, and he was a, what kind of an image which was being created, we all know. The same is in the case of Rahul Gandhi. There is another kind of an image has been created, like a Pappu image. So image creation, some section of the people in the social media creation should be treated purely as a fake news. And calling an entrepreneur Hindu or a Muslim or a Sikh or a Christian is absolutely not acceptable to me.
Even when the slander references religion.
I wanted to tell you, if you are calling Mustafa as, introducing Mustafa as a Muslim entrepreneur, you should be calling me as a Hindu entrepreneur. You should be calling Dilip ji as a Christian entrepreneur. Unless you don't do that, no, but you are doing wrong. You are doing absolutely wrong. You should not be calling. You call me a Hindu. Then you call me.
Let me answer you. Why don't you give me a chance to answer you? Come on, this is
not a Hindu entrepreneur. I will. You call me a Hindu entrepreneur, I will accept.
This is not a television. This is not a television.
You have to call me a Hindu entrepreneur.
We do not need to shout. We do not need to shout.
I'm
this is
not
not television. Let me respond to you. Okay. Why don't you let me speak?
Why do you need to call him a Muslim entrepreneur?
Now you're mansplaining in addition to not letting me speak. Please listen.
Achha, I'm sorry. My apologies for if I sound like that.
I would call you a Muslim, a Hindu entrepreneur if they were, or if you were targeted in a manner that referenced your religion. For example, if there was a slander campaign against you that said PKD Nambiar only employs Hindus, hang on. Then the religion would become relevant. Now, I've heard your point. We're out of time. I want Dilip to take your point, respond to it, and give a closing remark. Mr. Chairman, please go ahead.
I think that this response business of entrepreneurship being assigned a religion is dangerous. I think that it is also foolish for us to try and persist that religion is not the basis of this act. Social media is only a framework in which all of this is happening. We are living in a country where the politics is so divided that people playing this game expect either political attention or political support. And certainly one would have expected that the social media giants who have seen this would have acted faster. Again, their slowness can also perhaps be treated as further proof that we are living in a society where attacks of a certain kind in a certain direction are encouraged and can get away with much damage, and corporates are notoriously scared, and this would have frightened them, and this is something that we need to worry about for the future.
I think that last point is very important, PKD, especially for you. Even if you don't tag a religion onto an entrepreneurial venture, if there is an environment of fear, if corporates are looking over their shoulder, or should we tweet, should we express an opinion, God knows the mobs will come for us, that is dangerous. Hopefully though, communities and community responses do evolve. We already have learned, for example, to ignore many of the trends, many of the hashtags. We do evolve. And I'm hoping that the solution will come from the people themselves, because There is no other place that the solution can come from. We'll have to leave it there. If you do want to support fresh food against the slander campaign, go out and buy a packet of idli dosa batter, irrespective of whether you think religion is part of this conversation or not. Mr. Nambiar, Shubhrashta, Dilip Cherian, Paranjoy, and Irfan Habib. Thank you, and to our audience, see you soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.